Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Mount Tammany Ridge channel. We got John here, and we are doing a frost-free hydrant repair. Well, I should say full-on replacement, to be clear. This turns out actually to be a second visit to this hydrant. About 2 years ago, maybe a little more than that even, I had replaced this hydrant for the fact that I guess it had a leak down bottom, if I remember correctly. It was just leaking. The stanchion wasn't bent or nothing. However, this time around, we had a horse halter get hooked on here. Horse couldn't get unhooked, panicked a little bit, and gave it a good old yank. And well, there's the result. So this is a pretty common thing on horse farms. I've been brainstorming about a way to try to sort of hide this a little bit from getting snagged on a halter again. So I'm looking at it right now and just kind of pondering, but I'm gonna stop the yapping here. We got to start disassembling all this. I got to separate the big rock before I can pull out the frame, and then the paver stones that surround this area. You can see where I did the repair the last time. There was a little bit of settling. I wasn't exactly happy with that, but I was I had to put back wet dirt. So this time around, because it's not leaking, it's just bent. So I'm going to be taking out, reasonably dry dirt and putting back reasonably dry dirt. So that'll make the compaction process during the reinstallation of the new hydrant better. So there should be little to no settling after that. But let's get into this. All right, everybody. So a little bit of in and out of the hole and a bunch of bailing with the bucket. As you can see, some of that stuff's still kind of crumbling in there. But down here, you can see I've got the base of the hydrant exposed. Now for this repair, because that one was only repaired a couple years ago, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that original base on there so I don't have to take anything off the brass barbed fittings where the water line goes through. And I'm going to take the brass base, the valve, off of the new one. I'm going to unscrew that one from the old one. Of course, that's if everything goes to plan. And thread tape up the new one, run it back down in there, bippity boppity boo, and Bob's your uncle. So yeah, that's how we're going to go about it. So right here, that's the base. And I'm going to unscrew that brass valve from the bottom, and I'm going to use some thread tape, tape those threads up and run it right back down into the one that's already installed in the ground. So that's kind of what I was thinking I might try to do, depending on how things worked out. But this is a 4-foot bury. Okay, so that's, you know, we try to do that around here. Normally, you won't ever have these freeze up unless you have a really crazy cold winter with a lot of wind. I know over where we are, we've had it happen several times over the 20-something years, but that's several, not a bunch. And that appears to be a similar occurrence here. You know, not very often, but it's got to be really, really crazy cold and windy. So, but that's where we're at for now. I'll get back to you guys when I start getting a little bit more into the reinstallation. All right, so here we are, a little bit of a new development. All right, so I'm going to cut in here real quick. I got a little tongue-tied here, so I just figured I would redo it. Now, these two brass ends here, originally I was just going to back that stanchion pipe out of the old one and just thread the new stanchion pipe down into it. But upon further inspection, you could see this crack here in the brass, and that was due to the horse yanking on it, and that was on the back side of that brass foot valve, I guess you could call it, and I didn't see it at first. So I'm glad I looked a little bit harder. Come to find out, I got to replace the whole valve and everything anyway. So that's what we're going to do. Really glad the weather straightened out and gave me the opportunity to get here, because this was, I don't know how the heck this thing, I mean, it must have been leaking at least a little bit underground, which is why I think that little dry well underneath the hydrant there was as wet as it is. And as you can see, this dirt over here, I was really hoping it was going to be drier than that. But as I started getting down a little bit more than a foot deep, it began to be not the greatest. So we're going to have to harvest some dirt from somewhere else here on the farm. There is a location that they had told me exists. So I will be using their tractor to get some of that and use that to fill the hole. That way I can get good compaction and try to avoid some of that settling that we had from the last repair. So, yep, yeah, that's how things go. So it's good thing I didn't go crazy trying to take the new brass piece off, because then I would have had to, you know, reseal that and all that hubbub. So here we are. We're going to get this thing put in the ground, and I'll bring you back in a little bit.
All right, everybody. So this is the stage that I'm at. Still got a big mess to clean up. But right now I just got the 1/4 inch limestone clean. It's clean limestone, no fines in it. And I got it pretty well leveled out in there. I'm debating on as to whether I want to open up the other bag down by the truck or not and add a little bit more. My gut feeling is telling me yes. So I think that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to hop in the Kubota here, take a ride down to the truck, get that other bag, and it'll be a partial use. But I just want to make sure, because I did put some of this stuff that was dry on top after it kind of perked all day while I was working on this. And I did, top off about 8 inches of this hole with that. So yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing next, is installing these pavers. All right, everybody. So there it is. Hydrants all put back together. Pavers are put back in place. And yeah, I'm happy it went as well as it did. It actually went maybe even a little bit easier than the first time I did it. But hydrants back in place, and my friends are back up online. They got water.
All right, everybody. So I'm back here at the house. I am beat. I'll tell you. I actually had to change out of my MTR shirt. It was so dirty and gross. So, but it's nice to have a fresh shirt on. However, my undershirt's still a little rank. That was a long day. That was definitely a long day. That was an all day project. I got there at probably, I think I got there about 7:30 in the morning. And I got out of there at, I think, 5:30, almost 6 o'clock by the time I actually rolled out of there. And yeah, as you could see, it was a little bit tedious, from breaking everything down, putting all the separate, things, pavers versus wash stone and all that, putting it all aside. It was a lot of work. I was trying to get more footage about, with all the other things that, were part of that process, but I started having problems with battery life on the GoPro. Had plenty of memory at that time, but dwindling battery life, and of course I had forgotten another battery. It's kind of par for the course. And then of course the phone that I used for the majority of the recording, I was running into storage space, and I don't want to make this close out of the video too long because, well, I think I'm pretty much still limited on storage right now. So, but yeah, that was a long project. It came out really good. I'm happy with the results. Last time they came out real well. We'll have to see how things go with the settling. I did use some dry dirt to build up, I'd say maybe 3/4 of the hole. I did wind up using a little bit of that old stuff that was on the surface of the pile to backfill on the very last 1/4 of the depth of that hole. Just because I ran out of stuff in the bucket of the big tractor, and I was thinking it might be a little bit too much to go all the way out to the back 40 to get, corner of a bucket stabbed in the dirt mound. So the clock was definitely ticking, and I wanted to have it done for the end of the day. So I saved myself a little bit of time there, but we'll have to see. Hopefully the settling will be either non-existent or minimal. The dirt, the actual dirt that I put in, which there's like almost pretty much no rock in it, is all, I compacted it with the tamper and 6 and 8 inch lifts, and that should help quite a bit. And then of course the stuff that I put on top, you might notice that it was a lot of rock mixed in it, like gravel. So as you know, gravel really doesn't settle. However, the fines in between, could. But there was a pretty high percentage of gravel in there. So hoping that it's not only going to help with drainage, underneath those pavers, but it's also maybe going to help with minimal settling. So, but anywho, I'm going to stop yammering here. I'm going to close out this video. I really appreciate you guys coming around, watching my YouTube videos and my shorts, things like that. I really do, and you guys watching them makes it worth the time that I put into them. I'm not the greatest editor out there. Over time, hopefully those things will continue to get better as some of my editing software maybe gets upgraded and gets better. One day I'd like to be editing on a laptop computer rather than my cell phone, because I think that would make a tremendous difference in the quality of my content. But who knows? Before I let you guys go, just wanted to let you know I am beginning I'm in the beginning stages of becoming monetized through my YouTube shorts. Okay, I don't have a ton of them. It's very hard for me to make YouTube shorts. How can I say, throughout my work day? Sometimes we're slow, and most of the time we're pretty busy. So for me to stop and make a quick YouTube short, it's got to be practically a miracle for me to find that time. So there's going to be things like I might start doing a live maybe once a month, see how that goes, see if anybody actually even comes on to be part of that. I would like to try to maybe figure out a day or a day and a week of each month where I'm not going to interrupt any of the other bigger YouTubers that we all kind of congregate with on Thursdays or Fridays. Don't want to interrupt any of that. Hopefully one of these days, not too long from now, I got a lot of things to learn and figure out about this whole monetization and how it works, and even how to do a live. I have no idea how to even navigate that yet. So we will have to see. All right. So again, just keep that in mind. That's up and coming, hopefully sooner than later. But if you guys enjoy the content you see here on the Mount Tammany Ridge channel, I really appreciate it. If you guys could maybe hit that subscribe button, like, comment down below, and I'll see you guys on the next video. You guys have yourselves a good evening.